Good evening. Oh, there's the mic. Good evening. How are we? A special troll-along mix for you with a little bit of Elmo, which I couldn't bring myself to show you all of Elmo being set on fire, shot, and all of the other things that he does. Unless he makes another copyright claim against me, then we might show it. How are we all doing? A little bit early tonight because I came home and I thought I'm going to go for a run because I've been so busy this week I haven't managed to get one in, and I always feel so much better for doing some exercise. And get that camera right. And I got home and it's still so hot, so I thought let's have an early stream and then hopefully it will have cooled down a bit and I can go for a little run. Good evening, David Eshaktar, the Himble Mumbo Russell, Richard Shears, Graham Attempting Gaming. How are you all? Today is the letter K, clap clap. We haven't had a huge amount of submissions, so this might be a bit of a shorter stream than normal, but that's alright to do once in a while. You like to cool off under a stream, okay? Hello, Johan. Clap clap with a K, that's right. Oh, on the screen is a website called Vintage is the New Old, which is one that I often go to for my retro news. If you're not aware of it, it's just vintageisthenewOld.com. Just showing you it because they've hit 6 years old. And it's a nice, simple website, updated daily with lots of retro news of what's going on. So if you don't already have a go-to source for that kind of news, this is as good as any. Back in my very early days, I used to contribute to this website. Oh, I've got a sneeze coming. Go away. So I would write little articles in there that would pair up with whatever video I'd just released. So if I'd just reviewed a game, I'd also do a text review on there. Unfortunately, I don't really have time to do that anymore, but they were very nice people and accommodating, and it helped me, and I've still got my login if I ever decide to go back to it. So yeah, it's a good source of news. Hello ZX Renew, hello Grant, Saint UK, you're 50 on Friday. Well, they've given you a bank holiday just for your birthday. Mark Heslop, hello. Retro Box Room, Mark, would you like us to show a little bit of your videos today? The one that you showed me earlier. So, the letter K, we have got one J game that came in late. Let's pop that up. It is another Jetpack. This was Paul Kitchen's contribution. Jetpack, suitable for an 8K expanded VIC-20. We didn't have the VIC-20 version yesterday. Good bit of measuring, bit of manual action. I imagine it plays pretty well on the VIC-20. Haven't tried that version. That is a dirty tape measure, isn't it? That's a retro tape measure. It almost looks like it's split and being glued back together, doesn't it? Grant says, thoughts and sympathies going to Pints and Amigas today. Jack from the channel lost a dear friend and a former bandmate. Sorry to hear that, Pints and Grant. So yeah, sending you lots of well wishes, mate. So that was just catching up on the J's. Only got 2Ks. I've only got 2Ks in the bank. Do you remember David yesterday showed us his Jet Set Willy 3D prints? Well, he sent a couple more over. They're not animated today, but they're just as cool. And he says, yes, they look like they're made out of sugar lumps. Sugary! But they're actually SLS printed nylon and tiny, about the size of a €2 coin. The cube effect was my attempt to simulate scan lines and pixels in the models. And there's another one of Minor Willy falling down the toilet. Bitter Blitter, I've got Discord closed while I stream just because it makes too much noise and is distracting. So any submissions need to come to retromancave@gmail.com, please, sir. I'll make sure I've got my inbox open. My other inbox. I really do need to give the submissions a dedicated email address, don't I? There we go, that's open so I can look out for anything that might come in. Oh no, there we go. Did that thing where you shake the window and Windows minimises everything. Okay, we've got some uploading. Okay, good stuff. I have got some to show you though, so let's go. We've done David. We've got a show and tell from Jonathan. It's just a very quick one. He says, I don't have a cave or a collection as such. Unfortunately, just don't have the space to have a permanent setup. Well, you're not alone in that. He says, hope you'll accept my little 30 seconds or so offering with just a few members of my own personal journey through computing. So let's bring up his video. Certainly a couch. We got a tape measure. We got an RMC mug. Knock the volume down so we can hear him. Yeah, sorry, Alan. It's not really set. It's quite loose, really. When I stream, it's when it suits me, really, depending on what I'm doing of an evening.
Hello, cave dwellers.
Hello.
Or should I say couch dwellers? Hi, I'm saying.
Cave potatoes.
Sorry I don't have the room to have these permanently set up, and I can show you around a spectacular cave showing software, hardware, and a journey throughout the years in personal computing. Unfortunately, I just don't have the room here. But I thought I'd just take the quick opportunity to share with you all just some of the items that have been important to me over the years. And clearly, as much as they may have browned and may have aged and may be a little bit dusty and a little bit dirty, they've never been unloved.
There we go.
Hello, cave dwellers.
Hello again. Yeah, so we've got the Acorn Electron. We've got the ZX Spectrum. Hard to know which came first on his journey. It may have been the Specky and then the Electron, or maybe he had them at the same time. Looks like an A500 there with an A1200 on top. Is that another tape measure tucked in there? I think it might be. And we've got the big tracks. Lovely stuff. That's a good collection. Yeah, it's always a shame when you haven't got enough space to display them, but... oh, this is you, Saint UK, in the chat. Thank you. So you had them at the same time. But these things take up so much space. You know? It's impossible to have them all set up all the time. Especially if you're going to do it with a CRT. But, I mean, if you got rid of the sofa, you'd have enough room. So that's my recommendation. Bin the sofa. Set them all up there. We've got a few oddballs in the chat today. What's that all about? Oh well, just one click to get rid of them. Hello, Mad Pete. Shelves are more important than sofas. You're right, Alan. And hello, Alan Leon. What have we got next then? Let me show you. I did have a quick think about some games to show you myself, and I've just gone onto YouTube and found a load of long plays so that I can show you. So let's pick them up for you. We've got I think we've got audio with these as well, so let's cut the music. So my first K game is, can you guess from the music before I show you it? Oh, it's gone. Let's do that again. Name that tune. Any guesses? Yay, Rob's got it. Let's bring it onto the other screen if I can. Oh, it's moved on to Rocky 5. No, don't start playing Rocky 5. We'll definitely get a copyright strike. Okay. So, Karate Kid 2. On the Amiga, I don't think it was that great. It had a real sort of... It had the feeling of an 8-bit game on a 16-bit machine. And there was one section that I really liked about it, though. And it was here. The joystick waggling bit. So you have to waggle the joystick as fast as you can and then see if you can smash the ice. I like that, because that was the one bit that probably wouldn't look as good on an 8-bit machine. It was really smooth. Otherwise, it was a pretty mediocre game. You'd probably go for IK Plus over that every day of the week. So that was a good one. Another one that I only started playing recently was K for The Killing Game Show. Now, I'm not showing you this because I think it's a particularly good game. A lot of people think it's a good game. And that's why they recommended it to me on a stream. Just turn that music down a bit. But I actually found it infuriating. I find this to be a really hard game. You're trying to make your way up the level as the water rises. And if you take a couple of wrong turns, you find you can't get back because you've got to go down a level to come back up again. And I just found it incredibly frustrating, but a lot of you do like it. Had a good intro though, didn't it? Had like an Ed 209 robot shooting his cannons. Yeah, don't worry about anyone in the chat. It takes 1 second to click on them and get rid of them, so they're only wasting their own time. Okay, what have we got next then? Of course, Kickoff 2. How many Kickoff 2 fans in here? How many Sensible Soccer fans? Where do your allegiances lie? Sensi for Tim, Kickoff for Necronom, Sensi for Stog, Sensi for Monty. Had to be Kickoff 2 so that you had the aftertouch. Pete says Kickoff 2 was good, but Sensi was great. I did try to demonstrate on Twitch how much I loved Kickoff 2 a few weeks back. And I think I lost 10 goals to 1 against the computer. It wasn't the best demonstration. So, bit of Kickoff 2. And then the next one is a game that I haven't played a lot, but it comes to mind because I remember it always being played on Games Master when they had sort of a head-to-head challenge. For a long time, this was the game that they went for. Kickoff came before Goal. Goal is basically Kickoff 3. So, who's played this? King of Monsters. Yeah, it was. Do you remember this being on... Was it Games Master or was it another one that they used to use for their head-to-head challenge? I seem to remember this one being played a lot. Hello, Garen Ninja. So there we go. Those are my Ks for you. Let's move this over here. There are emails. Okay, we've got things coming into the mailbox. Let's go through what I've already downloaded. Hello, Pixels. You could have saved Quick Snacks. You could have. Hello, Laura. Good to see you here. Right. So we've got Chrissy's letter K. What I'm going to do, because it will be nice and fun for you all, is I'm going to make a few of you moderators. Because I'm going back and forward to click on these messages to get rid of them. So, Richard, Pixels, Tim, Retro Box Room, Fill Your Boots, and have fun with them. And I'll carry on just showing you some games. So let's look at Chrissy's game then. And let's get the music on for Chrissy. Oh, I had that music playing a bit loud, sorry. And here is Chrissy.
Hi, Chrissy here, and my K
Hi, Chrissy.
is Kickstart for the Commodore 16.
Oh,
So
interesting.
try
We've
and
gone
get
for
the
the
case
first
open.
Kickstart
And take the tape out.
instead of
Have a look at
Kickstart
the
2.
inlay. Kickstart was one of my favourite games as a kid. Used to play it all the time back in the late 80s. Let's have a look at those lovely screenshots of the Commodore 16 version. And we'll have a look inside. And you can see there, it's 2 pages long, Dave. 2 pages.
2 pages, Dave. I don't know that Dave's here, but 2
So now let's
pages,
try and
Dave.
put the inlay back into the cassette holder and the tape as well. And I'll leave you with some gameplay of me playing it that I've captured. Bye!
Bye. Oh, come on. Now, I know that wasn't in the original game. Yeah, I remember playing this on my friend's Commodore 16 and thinking it looked more like a quad bike than a motorbike. I was more used to Kickstart 2 on my Amstrad, which was a bit more refined and had a track editor, which was really nice. Is it too loud? Sorry. Knock that down for you. Do shout if anything's too loud.
Hi, Chrissy here.
Hi, Chrissy. Yeah. And next up, we've got Richard with his letter K, which downloaded fine today. So Dropbox has got over whatever problems it was having. Let's see what Richard's got for us.
Hello, Cave Brothers. Welcome to the cave. Today, we'll be covering the letter K. Why doesn't she measure up? Oh, please excuse the naked Scotch egg.
Oh, God. Very good, Richard. I'm having so much of that. I've missed what game this is. Catechus. Okay. He must have broken in. Another point for Kickoff 2. Richard favouring the, is that a Quick Shot 2 Turbo up there? 80s retro Mancave with increasing VHS effects. Yes, 10 points. Oh, there we go. That's the end.
Okay,
Thank you, Richard. Just gets more and more surreal with Richard. And I think that is everything that I had preloaded for today. It is. So I'm gonna just bear with me. I'm gonna dive into the inbox, and we'll just start downloading. So we've got Custado sent in a K. It's an image, so I can pop that straight up. Get that for you and read his text. The Custado says, Katamari Damacy. Katamari Damacy. It's my favoritist game ever. This is a screenshot of the Switch version of Katamari Reroll. I own and finish all titles in the series. If in the games you steer a sticky ball around the world, which rolls up everything below a certain size. Ah, yes, I have seen this game. Roll up enough and your ball will grow, enabling you to roll up bigger and bigger stuff. You start with push pins and end up rolling up the world. The aim of each level is to make your ball big enough to appease your father, the king of all cosmos. All of this is accompanied by the best soundtrack of any video game ever. I love Katamari, and so should you. Yeah, I've watched this. I've not played it, but I've watched it played on Twitch. And when I was watching it, they were on a level where they were just rolling around the world, picking up trees and everything, and this ball was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It was a really fun mechanic and a really fun game to watch. So that is a great choice. Behave, Grant. So what have we got next? Tim sent me a letter L, so I'll pop that in my basket for tomorrow. Jonathan has sent in a YouTube link to his choice. It is. Put it on the other screen. It's Karnov. In this case, the ZX Spectrum version. Hi, Chrissy here. There is a recent remake for this on the Amiga 1200, which is very well done. Is it Karnov? No, that's Rygar. Sorry, I always confuse the two. Looks like the chap from Double Dragon, says David. Do you mean a Bobo? I mean, it handles the Spectrum's colour clash pretty well. He says, until that giant skeleton ostrich comes along and it just turns into a mess. It's got a bit of a ghosts and goblins feel to it. There you go, Karnov. Let's get back to the inbox. Thank you, Jonathan. And our next K game is an image from... I don't know if this counts, but we'll open it anyway. Let's do it in the most retro of ways, in MS Paint. So this was his choice. Pretty sure that's not a genuine disc was. But you can have 10 points for the calendar, the Retro Was Cave mug, and the tape measure. Measuring at I'm going to say that's about 3.5 inches. And if you can't read it, it's clacks. Which is that funny puzzler where the pieces come rolling towards you down a conveyor belt. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Nulani, thank you. I will look into that. It was great on the links, yeah. Oh, Krypton Factor. That's a good shout, Rob. Oh, no, stop. I want to zoom out. I'm not in Photoshop. I can't use my Control and Alt buttons. There we go. No, I don't think we need to save that. What have we got next? Oh, another cave from Jonathan. Oh, it's a strong choice. Enhance. ZX Renew nonsense, that's not copied. So, this is Night Law from that wonderful game studio, who are called Not Rare. Ultimate. Play the game. Yeah, they really did get these isometric games down, didn't they? It worked on the ZX Spectrum where you can just use a black background like that. And the same colour on everything else with a bit of shading. Does away with any colour clash problems. It's nice and easy to see what's going on. Still a bit difficult to control when you're trying to get a pixel perfect jump on an isometric game like this. It could be frustrating, but this was one of the better ones. This and the sort of team play aspect of head over heels, that was a really good one as well, wasn't it? And Batman, another great one that was just like this. Hello BLT. Richard says, I remember my jaw dropping back in the day. Grant, you like the look of Spectrum isometric games in particular? Yeah, just, I don't know, just seemed to work well within its limitations, didn't it? And there were certain things that it was a little bit quicker at than the C64 with its Z80 CPU. Not everything. But maybe it assisted here in certain things. Don't know. Good choice, very strong choice. What have we got next? Clap clap, it's Dana Addams. Dana, always one for sending me games I've never heard of, but I'm always fascinated by. Looks like another horror game, and we've got some text. Dana says, unfortunately I'm back with another title to twist your tongue. Naturally it's an obscure one, but the story surrounding it is fascinating. Dana, if you could just write a bunch of scripts for me, that should keep my videos going for the rest of the year. Okay, this is Koudelka. Koudelka Iranu Uvavu. What happens when the composer for the Mana series takes a bunch of fellow Squaresoft employees and starts up a new studio funded by SNK with the goal of creating a revolutionary horror-themed RPG? The result is this, an incredibly ambitious game for the PS1 featuring outstanding full CG animated FMV sequences, incredible voice acting for the era, great visuals, obviously a fantastic soundtrack, and an all-round top-notch RPG unlike anything else. It experimented with the typical battle system too, creating something quite interesting and strategic. Rikakaka. After this, the studio was sold to a pachinko company due to SNK's financial trouble, where they made the three Shadow Hearts games. A sequel to Koudelka for PS2 before being shut down and disappearing. Koudelka was slated to be re-released on the PC a few years ago, but the Console Classics brand was shut down before they came to be. If you're interested in what happened there, my lovely partner Sheepy Tina has it. Oh, Tina's already covered it. Tina's got a YouTube video on her channel exploring the whole saga. Well, we better get a link for Sheepy Tina, hadn't we? Let's see if we can find a link. Sheepy Tina. There can't be many YouTubers called Sheepy Tina. Where is she? Sheepy Tina. Look, I am subscribed already. Let's get that link and put it in the chat for you. Release the dove from above. And what was the fox called? Mr. Something the Sweaty Fox.
To give me assistance in cooing down the dove from above. So can you all do that and help me coo down that shy little girl, the dove from above? Let's see if she'll come down. Come on, finger her down. Oh, isn't she beautiful? The beautiful plump dove from above, ladies and gentlemen.
She's fat.
Yeah. Now, written on the side of the dove are categories of questions. I'm going to eat.
Yeah, that'll give me a strike, I'm sure. But it's worth it. So, thank you, Dana. Another fascinating choice. Did I put Tina's link in the chat? I don't know that I did. There it is. There's Tina's channel. I got carried away. No, I didn't. I got carried away with the dove from above. There is the Sheepy Tina from below. Go and give it a sub. We've got another letter K here from Dave. Oh, it's Velociraptor. And it's a video, so that's just downloading. Oh, I did. Well, I posted it twice there. Okay, Dave, you are downloading. We'll just wait and see how long that goes. Jonathan has sent in another K. It's just popped into his mind, he says, so we'll pop that up. And it is. Wilf. No. Coco Tony Wilf. Is that the name of the game? Cocker Tony Wilf? Gotta be careful with this one. Yeah, that's the name of the game. What's Wikipedia got to tell me about this? Cockatony Wilf is an arcade adventure game released by Elite Systems in 1984 for the Amstrad CPC, C64 and ZX Spectrum. The game was inspired by Jet Set Willy. In Cockatony Wilf, Ulrich Kaka. Oh no, I've shaken the windows again. Come back. Ulrich the Magician must renew the sleep spell on the lair of dangerous dragons, lest the creatures again awake. To do this, he needs the dragon amulet, which has been broken. Oh yeah, classic. You need a thing. The thing has been smashed into pieces. You have to collect all the pieces. Heard that one plenty of times before. You think it was an Elite game, Pillock? What gives that away? The fact that they're making a copyright claim right now for me showing their logo, probably. Oh, I can hear you, Dave. I can't see you. Where are you? There we go. Let's get the volume on for Dave. So this is Velociraptor in the chat. 2 mugs. I can see a measuring device. We've got Kickoff 2. A couple of screws. Is this a new thing? Are we doing screws now?
Hello, Neil.
Hello, Dave.
Cave Dwellers. Just a quick one today because I thought if we don't have this game, Neil will be sad.
I would
this
be
is
sad.
One of Neil's favourite games. This is Kickoff 2.
I will be sad if it's the Atari version.
It's one of the super, super popular 16-bit British football games. The other was, of course, Sensi Soccer. seems lots of people prefer Sensi Soccer. I prefer Kickoff 2. I know Neil prefers
Good man.
Kickoff 2.
Good man.
I think it's a better game. But I think it's because I played this more
another mug.
before Sensi Soccer and all the rest of it. You'll notice though that comes the data disc, the final whistle, and I felt that without the final whistle it wasn't quite the finished product. I thought the final whistle was what kind of did it for it.
I agree.
So when I got it, I've got that in it. Kickoff 2, the final whistle, and somewhere about I've got that. Now the manual, as you can see, is not a very big one as you might imagine.
Here comes the page count.
20 pages long. The guy that made it had an improbable name, Dino Dini, unusual name to have, and he did the Amiga and the Atari ones, which are the ones that everybody played by the.
And also down here, Anko would like to thank Steve Screech for all the help so willingly given in design stages of the game and many hours of playtesting. Anyone who's played this will recognise that name. Steve Screech was the harshest referee in the game. He was most likely to give you the red cards. And I think I'm right in saying further down the line, when Dino Dini was kind of separated from the rights to the Kickoff name and Anko kept it, I think Steve Screech did Kickoff 3 or another version of Kickoff, which was nowhere near as good.
Point this came out, I think that people were mostly on 16-bit platforms. It was 1990, so by that point the kind of 8-bits were falling away, although some people seem to stick with them for a long time. Anyway, Neil will probably talk about this more than I will, which is fine. It's one of Neil's favourite games. He's happy about it. I thought it'd be a real shame if no one had mentioned Kickoff 2. I will, however, go back to Neil in the studio. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Now, this is an interesting one. Yes, you know I love the game, but in my very early days, I did a 2-part history of Kickoff. You can tell it's early because it's got the old R logo. Oh, and it's got the date. It was one of the first videos I made. And this is just a grab from that video. You had Kickoff 2, the final whistle, which I had, and loads of people had it. In fact, it was pretty much standard as part of the game for a long time. Kickoff Extra Time was an add-on for Kickoff 1, which I think it gave you Aftertouch, which was a game changer. You really needed Aftertouch to enjoy this game. But then there were these other ones that I never really had. So Kickoff 2 Winning Tactics, 10 new tactics. So I guess that's just the the management side, the strategy side, where you can say where the wingers go and all of that stuff. Giants of Europe, a data disc containing, okay, so that was a team disc with all the European teams, including the great teams of Yugoslavia. Special emphasis has been placed on adjusting the player attributes to resemble them as closely as possible. Return to Europe gives you 3 European Cup competitions, 32 teams. That was a Game Boy version, Master System version, NES version. There's another one. There was a really weird add-on. I'm just trying to find the name of it. Don't think I show it in the video. There's this weird add-on that was never released. That was basically a quiz. It turned the game into some kind of edutainment title. Very odd. You'll have to watch the video because I can't remember where it was. I think you can play your own video without getting a copyright strike. Yeah, it was when I was sort of getting used to Premiere still and doing all these kind of overlays and things like this. Oh, there's Steve Screech. I think that's Steve Screech. He did did some of the player art. Oh, look at those effects. Kevin Tom's Kickoff 2 simulator. And then, of course, he went on to do Kickoff Revival, which I played on Twitch the other day. And it was absolutely atrocious. It seems like he's just abandoned the game completely. It feels unfinished, and it hasn't been updated for years. Pillock, I did not love it. I loved losing 10-1 on goal after playing this more than I did playing this. Looks good, it's just if you play it, it's horrible. And Dino Dini is now running an internet radio station based in Brighton. Very odd. Very odd. So that's the thing. Loved it almost as much as Tomb Raider, yeah. It was a bit of disappointment. It would have just been best left untouched, wouldn't it? Than bringing out something awful. So, we got a couple more Ks. Tim sent in a K, and Mark Heslop's sent in an image. Guess what Mark's chosen? Da-da-da-da. Oop, oop, oop. We've got Kickoff 1. It's a Knockout. Wow. It's a Knockout was an early 80s to mid 80s TV show here in the UK. It was like an assault. It was like Gladiators, but with normal people and ridiculous costumes, and Stuart Hall commentating over the top, in an over the top fashion. My parents appeared on It's a Knockout. I don't remember it. I was a bit young. Can we talk about It's a Knockout, Philip? So yeah, they did a special episode of It's a Knockout in Sherborne. I think that's still within the borders of Dorset. And they had the royal family on there as one team. And for some reason my parents were in the other team, competing against them. Very odd. Yeah, my parents did seem to be one for game shows. I think my mum just applied for all of them out of boredom. I must see if I can find a video of it at some point. And then we've got Tim's letter K. Ah, Tim with his mugs. Tim has died of dysentery. Say it ain't so. See what Tim's got for us. That was my real dad, and not the person who submits games with my dad's name. Yeah, catches me out. Caught me out today.
Hello, Tim here.
Hello, Tim.
And my letter K is a game which comes from early 80s, and I first played it.
I'll get you a link for the mug,
I'm
Richard.
ashamed to say on a pirated copy on the Apple IIe. And probably that's why the mug I've put in front of the letter is quite appropriate, because it's from a similar era. Another excellent Neil Retro Mancave creation, by the way. And I haven't managed to ever get hold of a original copy on the Apple IIe. I dare say it would cost a lot and have to come from America. So I'm using a similar era game, which is the version on the Atari 7800. And what appealed to me about this game at the time, and I think it stood the test of time quite well actually, is the fact that it had rotoscoped characters, so it looked good, and it had bosses, which was pretty unusual, because most of these kind of combat games you just fought one character or a mirror image of yourself essentially. This had a bit of a story, and you kept moving along and get tougher and tougher enemies, and this usual cliche to rescue the princess from the evil guy kind of story. But yeah, of its time, and actually good fun to play. Try it if you haven't done so. And I will see you for the letter L.
Thank you, Tim. You've always got such really nice examples of games in such lovely boxes. This was, of course, you mentioned the rotoscoping. That was the precursor to Prince of Persia, which used the same technology by the same programmer, in which he famously filmed his brother climbing things and then used tracing paper on the TV screen to draw his sprites, and rotoscope, as it were. It worked really well, and I think that's why these games hold up so well. that one and Prince of Persia, because that fluid motion is just so good. Cockatony Wilf was not rotoscoped. No, I think I guessed that. Oh, you're an animator by trade, Dana. I'm sure you appreciate these games then. Oh, you've not heard it, Grant? Yeah. It's quite a famous story, but yeah, I shouldn't assume everyone's heard it. So if you ever want to have a go at making your own 8-bit or 16-bit game, it's never been easier, has it? To film yourself running around the garden and then trace over yourself. Good, that's all our games for today, all our submissions, all our show and tells. A little bit quieter than normal, but that's fine by me. Because we had a bit of a marathon one yesterday, so it's all good. Thank you as always, everyone. I'm still really enjoying this, and I'm still trying to fathom how we can keep this going in the longer term, not on a daily basis, but in a way that we all benefit from, and we can all enjoy. On the side of the big C word that we're not allowed to say because YouTube hides our channel if we do that, I hope you're doing well with it. I have noticed a lot more traffic. I have noticed even more people out on the streets, and I think it's going to continue to be that way. Here in the UK, we're going to get an update, or we're due an update on Friday as to what's happening next, and if things are going to be eased a little bit over here. And it sounds like, reading the news, that's sort of where everyone else is around the world. So, we'll check in Monday. I might not do I won't be able to do a Friday evening stream. The reason being, we're having a responsible street party here on Friday. As in, we're all sitting on our driveways and not leaving our gardens. And waving flags at each other for VE Day. I'm going to have a table and jug of Pims. I'm going to damn well enjoy it. So it's a bank holiday here on Friday, so I'm sure you'll let me off. But we will have the quiz on Saturday. Yeah, there'll be the quiz on Saturday, Rushton. I've got some good rounds for that. And there'll be another live stream tomorrow, and we'll continue on Monday. And we'll see where we stand on Monday with things being eased and what we can and can't do. We do need a code word for that word. Elmo. Should we call it the Elmo event? I hope you're all dealing with Elmo, and Elmo isn't affecting you too badly. Good stuff. Okay, have a wonderful evening, everyone. Take care, and thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I enjoy it, and you're fabulous people. Cheerio. Bye-bye. He's waving. Bye-bye. Oh, I've gone upside down. Yeah, stop that.
Round 1.